matchmaker for the league's biggest disgruntled names, and our matchmaker is in the house. And let's welcome in CBS Sports NFL analyst and relationship expert, the Natalie-clad Emery Hunt. Very dashing, my friend. Emery, we're taking a look at stars that are headed for a breakup this offseason, perhaps. Let's start with A.J. Brown. He's had his relationship issues with the Eagles. If Philadelphia decides they want to split, where might A.J. find love?
Well, Hakeem, back when we signed the Louisiana Purchase, before the state of Louisiana gave up all that territory, we was stretching all the way to Montana. Somewhere in the fine print, in an addendum, it was that disgruntled football players, wide receivers, in fact, have to go between the NFC East and the AFC North. We've seen this over the course of history. Odell Beckham goes from the Giants to the Browns. We just recently saw George Pickens go down from Pittsburgh to the Dallas Cowboys. So why not send A.J. Brown from Philly to Cleveland? I think that would be an ideal fit. And here's a football reason why, outside of the historical references I just gave you phenomenally. You look at A.J. Brown, he's a number one wideout. The Browns need someone that's a bigger body wide receiver that could be their number one, which would allow all the other receiving options on the roster right now to slide down to a more natural fitting position. Judy could be your wide receiver 2. You look at Cedric Tillman could be your big wide receiver 3. Isaiah Bond could mix in there as your go deep guy, number 4. And you still have Harold Fannin on the roster as your number 1 tight end. So it makes sense from a football perspective. And with those 2 picks in the first round, they can now go and address offensive line, double down on it, put $14.99 on it, and do that and help that team move forward. I think this makes so much sense for A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown is a player in Eagles 1,000 receiving yards in 4 straight seasons. A.J. Brown on the Browns. We love drama in Cleveland, so why not? So, we also have some good libraries in Cleveland. So if he wants to pick up a book and read it on the sideline, if he's mad, he can get a book from the library, because we've got great libraries in Ohio.
And you have a great literary poet out there in Bone Thugs and Harmony that could teach him how to do it at an expeditious manner.
Facts. I mean, these are facts. Maybe at the crossroads one day. We all know wide receivers are the biggest divas in football. 31-year-old Tyreek Hill wants out of Miami. He suffered a season-ending knee injury in Week 4. He's got a $52 million cap hit in 2026. Emery, realistic to think that Hill could reunite with his ex-team?
I don't know if it's realistic or not, but that's the reason why we're here for Valentine's Day, to matchmake, right, and get guys back together in love. And so if he can go back to cherry red Kansas City, it would be ideal. They already went ahead and brought back Eric Bieniemy, and we know what that offense looked like when Tyreek Hill and Eric Bieniemy and all those guys are out there at the same time. They were one of the more feared, explosive offenses in the NFL. So why not get the band back together? Why not rekindle that love affair that they had a while before? Both teams were at their best when they were with each other. That's why I feel like Tyreek Hill, who I think is a future Hall of Famer based on what he's done out there on the field, would make sense to go back to Kansas City, gives them, if he's healthy, another explosive option in the passing game, and then they could use that 9th overall selection to take one of the more explosive running backs in the draft, and that would be Mr. Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame.
All right, so Tyreek Hill back with his ex-team, the Kansas City Chiefs. 2025 was a lost season for Brandon Ayuk because of a torn ACL he suffered in 2024, and then reports surfaced that his relationship had fallen apart with the 49ers. San Francisco voided the guaranteed money in Ayuk's contract for 2026, so both sides headed for a breakup here. Ayuk needs a fresh start, so matchmaker, make me a match.
Just like LL Cool J was trying his damnedest to go back to Cali, Brandon Ayuk has been trying to go to Washington forever because he's best friends with former college teammate at Arizona State, Jaden Daniels, and it gives him another bona fide threat in the passing game. When we think about Jaden Daniels and we think about the year he had at LSU, you think about what he had at his disposal at wide receiver. Malik Neighbors. He also had Brian Thomas. Why not try to recreate that with another best ball deep threat guy in Brandon Ayuk, who clearly doesn't want to be out there in San Francisco? He's made that known. He's also made it known that he wanted to get traded to Washington when they were trying to figure out trade him, and they ended up giving him an extension. So why not send this young, talented wideout, if he's healthy, once again, to where he wanted to be? And almost like Miss Jones, where I want to be, boy, that's where he wanted to be. He wanted to be in Washington. I know you don't know that Miss Jones song reference I just dropped there. Do you Googles? It's a fantastic classic song from 1996.
Well, remember, they got Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel, so that would be pretty dynamic. if Brandon Ayuk were to get into a relationship with the Commanders. Okay. Our next star player comes to us from Las Vegas for now, and we spent time during the regular season talking about potential destinations for this man. He is number 98 in your playbook, but number 1 in your heart, Maxx Crosby. New Raiders coach Clint Kubiak said he wants to keep his star pass rusher happy, but Maxx was not happy when the team shut him down at the end of the season, Emery. There are plenty of suitors for Maxx, but who do you think would take the love connection to the Maxx?
2 and 2. I love that drop right there with the love connection reference there. But here's the thing. This the football stuff, right? This is what people tune in to CBS Sports HQ for. Maxx Crosby is a fantastic elite level defensive end edge rusher. The Dallas Cowboys definitely have a need for an elite level pass rusher since they jettisoned Micah Parsons off to the Green Bay Packers. What the Cowboys have to offer the Raiders that are trying to rebuild and build this thing from the ground up, they got a lot of young, good pieces in place. We talked about this earlier in the week of all the talent that they have on that roster. And why not throw them an extra first-round pick, maybe that pick in the 20s, to the Las Vegas Raiders to get Maxx Crosby? That could be a straight-up, here's our first-round pick. You give us Maxx Crosby. Now you have 2 first-round picks. You can continue to build that young roster for your new head coach, Clint Kubiak, and Dallas gets a star for the star in the star to play like a star for them in that blue and silver, whatever that color blue is. I do like a seafoam. So I think when you get this type of trade, you got to make it if you're Dallas. And if you're the Vegas Raiders, you kind of want this type of asset in return for a guy that's still going this direction in Maxx Crosby.
Maxx Crosby's under contract through the 2029 season. He's guaranteed $30 million this season. Our final star player looking for love is 30-year-old running back Alvin Kamara, but he wants that love from the Saints. He said back in October that he'd rather retire than play anywhere other than New Orleans, saying if the Saints trade me, I'll go drink a pina colada. Knee and ankle injuries limited Kamara to 11 games last season. Emery, what's your relationship advice for Alvin?
Well, I can understand not wanting to leave New Orleans. It's the best place, greatest place on earth. No bias in my heart or in my accent, I will say. But here's the thing. And the reason why he wants to ride his bike to his house, from his house to the Superdome. So I get it. Convenience is always a factor in play. But if you're going to make a move, if you're New Orleans, if you're going to grant his wishes to, or not grant his wishes to stay in the city, how about you get him back with his old coach and Sean Payton out there in Denver? We saw the Broncos needed help on the ground with the run game, and they love these type of backs. Well, Sean Payton loved these type of backs that can do more than one thing. That could be an asset as a receiver and also as a runner. They weren't able to carry the mail when J.K. Dobbins went down. They had a huge hole in the backfield. Now you add this guy who still has a little bit more juice left in the tank, even if it's in a timeshare situation, but go out there, make him a Bronco, reunite him with Sean Payton, and you'll get the best of Alvin Kamara once again.
All right. Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook and the czar of love here on CBS Sports HQ. Emery, thank you. By the way, can I just point out, I got the purple jacket on with the purple checks. He's got the pink jacket with the pink checks. I'm just saying, we were ready for that Valentine's Day segment. Here's a look back at Emery's matchmaking. A.J. Brown to the Browns. I like that. Tyreek Hill back with his ex-team in Kansas City. Brandon Ayuk gets a fresh start in our nation's capital. Maxx Crosby maxing out in Dallas. And Alvin Kamara saddling up going west to Denver to reunite with Sean Payton. If any of these moves actually happen, we'll bring you instant reaction right here on CBS Sports HQ.
At Honda, we believe in the power of dreams. Only dreams can turn a pursuit into a mission. Passion,